It was a cold night. I was curled up under the comforter, fast asleep in my bed, when I was pulled from a dream my mind tried to cling to. I didn't know what had awoken me, as I debated whether to roll over and go back to sleep. Then I realized that the cats and dog were strangely absent. They normally spent the night with me, wrapped around me to absorb my warmth. I heard a crunching of footsteps across the rocks below my bedroom window, and the sleepiness was ripped away from me. I jolted out from under the covers and braced myself against the cold as I slipped my sweater on. I wondered why the dog wasn't barking as I strapped my shoes on. We live on a farm out in the middle of nowhere, 50 miles away from the nearest major town, 20 away from the little town where I went to high school. I snapped a flashlight into my hand as I briskly walked towards the front door. I slapped the porch light on as I strolled out. It was colder outside than I had expected, and I quickly began to shiver. I looked around, shining the flashlight under my windows. I chose not to wake my parents. It was probably just some coyotes or a raccoon, and I was used to chasing them off on nights like this. Nothing was there though. I circled our chain-link wrapped yard, and a jingling grabbed my attention. I strolled towards it with purpose, expecting to see a raccoon or one of the barn cats scaling the fence. Instead, all I saw was the fence swaying. The 100 acres we lived on was steeped in pitch black darkness. The only light was the one in my hand. I flashed it through the links, and the metal shone back at me, making it hard to see anything on the other side. I squinted my eyes, and nothing was there. The horses nickered, and the goats bleated. I ran towards the gate and slammed it open. I aimed the light towards them. They were clearly panicked, but nothing unusual caught my eye. I thought to head back in, wishing I had grabbed something to defend them with, when I heard a crunching, pulling sound coming from the chicken's coop. I spun and ran towards it. I sprinted to its front door, my light sweeping back and forth along the little house. As I rounded the building, I stopped dead in my tracks. What lay before me was no coyote, no raccoon. It looked like a human, thin, skeletal, and pale, and its sharp, shark-like teeth was the chicken wire that guarded the coop's windows. As the light hit it, it spun toward me. Its large black eyes reflected the glimmer like a cat's. It stood on all fours and had impossibly long, lengthy arms tipped with bony, clawed fingers. It made a sound like it was clicking its tongue as it cocked its head. The chicken started squawking, and the thing whirled on the coop, its arms ripping at the door and window. Its claws left deep furrows in the sheet metal. I ran. I heard a growl, followed by a roar, and the crunching of rocks behind me. I slammed into the gate of the chain-link fence again as I tried to unfasten it. Something grazed my sweater as I finally pulled it open, swinging it shut quickly behind me. The flashlight in my hand illuminated the creature on the other side. It stood there staring at me through the links. I backed away from it slowly, towards the house, afraid to let it out of my sight, as it reached one of its hands out longingly. I heard a ticking sound behind me. It sounded like someone stood on the roof of my house, clicking their tongue.